Hello everybody and welcome to a new video. For this video, I'm going to be showing pictures and videos from our trip to Vancouver Island, part 2, specifically the day when we went to Fort Rod Hill and Fisgard Lighthouse National Historic Sites. This was a very interesting place to go check out. We had a lot of fun. There was lots to see and lots to learn, and I hope you guys enjoy this video. We took so many videos and photos when we were on the island, and specifically at Fort Rod and Fisgard Lighthouse. Now, I'm just going to get into a little bit about what the place is before I talk too much about our experience. Fort Rod Hill was an artillery fortress that was on active duty from 1895 to 1956. That's not a very long time, but it has a lot of huge cannons. There is a lot of places in there. They have the canteen, they have the tunnels that you can walk through. You can check out all of the cannons. You can check out the barracks that they would have used. They have a lot of things there that would show you what kind of lifestyle they lived, the uniforms, the food they ate, all kinds of stuff to just show you what their day-to-day life looked like. It was a very interesting tour. They had different sections for the regular, I would say, soldiers, and then there was the officers' quarters, and there was a place there for people that were married, houses there for people that were married, stuff like that. Standing in the places where they had all the cannons and the little holes to look through to watch the ocean for any ships that might be coming, it's hard to imagine what it must have felt like. You may notice as you watch the tour of Fort Rod that there is artifacts and things built from the First Nations people. That is because these national historic sites are on traditional territories of Liquigan speaking people, and there is two different First Nations people that have been on this land for a long time. There is an historical relationship with the land that continues to this day. It really gives you a sense of what things were like a couple hundred years ago with the old buildings that are still standing. You can walk through them and see what the furniture and kitchen and living area spaces were like. There was a Jeep on site of the vehicle that they used to get around. Fort Rod is actually really, really big. It's like a huge place. It took us all day to walk around the entire thing. So a Jeep would come in handy, but they had an old Jeep there on display so we could see the kind of vehicles they had back then. So there was a camping space at Fort Rod where it would give you the camping experience. They had these little tent looking houses that you can pay to stay in for a couple nights or a night. And you can do that there if you choose to. When we were planning our trip to Vancouver Island, we had set out places that we wanted to visit. We took our time planning the trip so that we knew where we were going to go each day and what we wanted to explore and see. And Fort Rod and the lighthouse were one of the places that we wanted to go explore. We thought it would make a good field trip for the kids as a learning opportunity, seeing a historical site, learning about how things were back in the day. It's a base and how it operated, how soldiers' day-to-day life was. There was another place that we explored too in Vancouver, Fort Langley, which is another video that I have up on my channel, and I will put a link to that place in the description as well. That is starting the first fur trade, Hudson Bay fur trade base was Fort Langley, and the birthplace of British Columbia. So that was another important place that we thought we should take the kids. But when we were looking at places to go on Vancouver Island, Fort Rod was a base that came up in the list, and we thought it would be a very good place to take the kids and a very good learning opportunity for everybody. As I explained in my last video, part 1 of the Vancouver Island trip series, I'm going to be going over the whole trip, breaking it into different videos so I can really dissect it and go over it and share what we experienced and seen there. So this will be video 2. I'm going to link video number 1 in the description below. You guys should go check it out. And if you guys are interested in things like this, tours of places we've been, if you're also interested in things like crafting, I do a lot of that stuff too. Remember to hit that subscribe button, hit the bell if you want to see them notifications, and click like on the video if you enjoyed. Rod Hill was named after John Rod, first lieutenant on HMS Fisgard under Captain John Duntes. Rod was later promoted to Rear Admiral in 1877. Britain's Royal Navy began using the harbor in the 1840s as merely for anchorage, watering, and for lumber, but the establishment of 3 hospital huts during the Crimean War of 1854 to 1856 marked the start of what is still an active naval base for the Royal Canadian Navy. There is also an audio tour at Fort Rod Hill where they play things that were happening at the time that the fort was active, which is really, really neat. They have mannequins throughout the place. So Fort Rod and Fisgard Lighthouse, they're two historic sites that are just really close together. There's no connection between the two. We visited both because they were right there beside each other in walking distance to each other. But they were two completely different historic sites. One of the really neat places that was connected to Fort Rod was the lighthouse. It was a very beautiful lighthouse. We got a lot of very nice photos from there. It was turned into a museum, and there was all kinds of things inside to learn about Fisgard Lighthouse National Historic Site. The Fisgard Lighthouse was built in 1860 as the first permanent lighthouse on the west coast of Canada. Although administered together with Fort Rod Hill, it is a separate National Historic Site. There is no historic connection between the two structures. The lighthouse now contains exhibits on shipwrecks, navigation, and the growth of the West Coast Lighthouse System. Various lenses and light keepers tools are also kept on display. I hope you guys enjoyed this tour around Fort Rod Hill and Fisgard Lighthouse. Let me know in the comments what your favorite part of the video was, or something that might have stuck out to you. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, and make sure, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button to be notified when I upload in the future. Thank you guys for watching, and have an awesome day.